God bless God's people on this wonderful Monday evening. Welcome to another message from ELS. Today has been an interesting day. Today I had the pleasure of going with my wife to get her car inspected over at the inspection station over in Virginia Beach. When we went to the shop, we encountered a man named David. As the man was waiting to get his car inspected in the lobby with us, he began to tell us somewhat of a testimony. He began to tell us that his back was broken. He wore a brace. He began to tell us that he lost 20 years of his memory because he has a element or a disease that causes him to pass out when he actually drinks like Pepsi or eats chocolate. He passes out. The ironic thing about the man David was that he had a Pepsi at the time. He began to tell me and my wife how he loved God and how he asked God to take him home because of the pain, the suffering that he was doing. He lived alone in his house in the country. He began to tell us that, he was hoping that one day the pain would stop, but he didn't have any hope. He began to tell us that he was trying to find out what God wanted him to do. And oftentimes he questioned why God would let him even live through the suffering that he was suffering. The man talked to us at least maybe about 40, 45 minutes during our wait for the car inspection. And I sat there, yes, yours truly, Pastor Langford Stevens III, the Bearing Fruit Outreach Ministries. I sat there quietly, didn't say a word. My wife began to engage with him back and forth, and we had our dog with us, and he played with the dog for a while. And he began to just open up himself, and we began to feel empathy for him. But yet in all that he said, there was something about him that was encouraging to me. There was something about this man that made me rethink my own life and my own troubles. I said to myself as this man was talking about all the troubles and the pain, daily pain, falling out and not knowing when he is at some times in his life. Yet God have kept me in my right mind. I began to ponder about my own life. And I made up my mind today that I won't complain. There are people out there, ladies and gentlemen, who are doing worse than you are. There are people out there who are living with pain beyond measure. Yet they can muscle up the courage, not only to testify, but also tell you the truth about where they are. Many of us complain about the small things in life. Many of us have taken God's grace for granted. But today, I learned something from this man who didn't know what tomorrow looked like. He was just thankful for today. And at the end of the conversation, the man actually thanked us for listening to him. Actually said, I'm glad that I had somebody to talk to, because it get lonely sometimes. Somebody got to hear me tonight. And the Lord began to speak to me at the end of the conversation as my wife had went on back to the truck, and I held back, and finally, after all was said and done, I told the man, sir, Mr. David, I am a pastor. And he began to say he felt the Holy Spirit all over him as soon as I said that I was a pastor. He said, oh, sir, you have made my day. Why didn't you say anything? And I said to him humbly, sir, you have said it all. And you have been a blessing to me. You have given me another perspective on life. Because no matter what I go through, there's somebody got to hear me, that's going through worse than you are, and still have the courage to give God some praise. So tonight on another message from ELS, I simply want to say this. Don't get mad at other people who remind you of who you used to be. Learn to show them the same grace that God showed you when you were in their place. Let me say that again. Don't get mad at other people who remind you of who you used to be. Learn to show them the same grace that God has shown you when you were in their place. You never know what life may throw your way, but never judge a man for what he went through. Just encourage him. Encourage him for getting through it. God bless you. It's been another message from ELS. Take care.